I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is a special day for you and I as you approach the pivotal moments of the country's history. Election 2024. The die is cast and the hour is now. I will urge each and every cherished viewer on this platform to compose him or herself at the polling center. Your duty is to go and vote and come back to the house peacefully. You can go back to the polling station to witness the counting. Just don't give yes to any other external circumstances for you to be enraged. We don't have any other country than Ghana, so let's protest our votes and keep that peace in the country. Some of us are living here in the efforts of divinity that has gravitated us to this level. And in case of any other circumstances, where are we going? Thanks for your patience. I'm free political arena. Na including komo kakra sports and arena ho. Na enkomo eboba no edoso yi pa answer na no we foforo platform we so a subscribe to channel no post notification bell no me so far to all. What like video no like one say hu here pa. Na wa share to other social media platforms so description box and WhatsApp link in them or drop your comments or comment box in the so remember special shout out after my presentation no Facebook and the TikToker Manual TV Sports. Mimbon rem video a etwagu so screen so no. Na ye yide hwe video no question abebusa ho ne say so enipa ya etwagu so screen so no dancehall artist and rapper mepacho or footballer 2017 mo be kai Ghana under 17 India World Cup quarterfinals Mali fima no so ka ho bi oni Mohammed Kudus Ibrahim Sadek mo and a boy. Now, Aminu Mohammed, a player mechanic wasem. Aminu Mohammed, the way and no mechanism. See, and the mechanics and a football career no, and a football path as it stands now no, has been turbulent as in a chaos. On said who send a normal echo. Even after 2017 World Cup, or rising to that prominence, a Leo and as a prompte Manchester City, Emma Mobetona around $2 million. No more Tony no, and I feel more certain and no mechanism. Somebody Cologne or Cologne kakra nag breda eno san baby and a Manchester City esande Cologne Lomel SK Belgium or division 2 demo ofi Lomel SK eno kosi akan Greece edema Cozians for ehwana Manchester City omene ne ton kwanta pai ye hwe player ya nhye de hu na no ane se akohu no Barbering shop a wo ginani ho nti akoya nkujankoje asan akoya nsem bebre Ediama Aminu Mohammed. In the only latest if in the camp I needed to share this story with you. Is and say me hu ye no na ye me asefem say player who share the standard Kudus Ibrahim Sadek mo any other players bank no so betimi asambo player akra akobo Manchester City da anaso Manchester City for abeto no edne colons ahodo ke betimi asambe bo ano and asisi ano ekosei edemano me mfi ne camp na yenkodi nkomo kakra Black Stars nsema eboba Muftau Nabila, a journalist of the year 2024, wabetna say self-explanatory sentence no a very coherent so utia ubeti bibia say right from the start to the end of in sema watch them nano executive council meeting a course so Otuado any GFA ESCO members ne entem na watch them the ntia e bia John Pencil any Fatau Dauda ebetimi akọ esan say nyo Otuado and I recommended John Pencil ne Fatau Dauda edema GFA say omo appoint no inti nkomone de tafa na nyina yentie yasum eto de bia mimboni video just because of the challenges we don't own the right to the content eto de bia obo video na copyright issues eba inti na meboni audio edema ntimo nyina mon bear with me na yentie video we
most of the conversations have been directed towards the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And yesterday, I was on the phone with Aziz Aruna. I needed to ask him certain questions following an interview that he granted, and I wanted to understand some of the things he said. And he made me to understand that the sports minister has advised the Ghana Football Association to part company with Otuado. That was what he said. But the story about Fatau Daura and John Pencil is not one thing I can report authoritatively because I do know the Ghana Football Association had the blessing of Otuado before recruiting John Pencil and Fatau Daura.
What does that mean?
But
The
let me
blessing.
state that Otoado did not hire Fatah Daura. He did not hire John Pencil.
Even he didn't recommend them for hiring.
No.
Mm.
The technical team or backroom staff that were hired by Otoado were the is it Basel man Joseph the
Lauman.
the two video analysts and the Mazars. But when it comes to the second assistant, which is John Pencil, and the goalkeeper's trainer Fatah Daura, Otoado did not hire them. And this was what happened. During the conversations, we are all aware that the first choice of Otoado to be his assistant coach was Michael Essien.
Yes.
And when Michael Essien said he was not interested in the job, what the Ghana Football Association and Otoado did was to give Otoado the free hand to hire his backroom staff.
Mm.
So what Otoado told the GFA per sources was that I need a player that I have played with to be my assistant. Right, my second assistant. So the GFA were like, okay,
And we can't join
ahead
as
and,
a reason for.
decide for us.
Okay.
Claims were that Derek Boatin was one of the coaches that he was looking at. And the other claim that was made was that Ibrahim Tanko too was in the running, but he was told that Ibrahim Tanko, you did not play with Ibrahim Tanko.
Mm.
So he said, okay, if these players are not, or these coaches are not available for me, I give that to the FA to appoint. So he interviewed Joseph and brought Joseph and gave the GFA reasons why they should give Joseph the job. He interviewed the two video
Joseph
analysts.
Lawman.
Yes.
Mm.
He interviewed the two video analysts. He interviewed the Mazars and brought them. But the FA said, okay, you need to work with two assistant coaches. And because you want a player that you played with, we will give you John Pencil, JP. And he was fine with it. The goalkeeper's trainer, Fatah Daura, they said, we'll give you Fatah Daura. He was okay with it. That was why Fatah Daura left his job at Sudan and came back here.
Okay.
But as we all heard from Henry, because most of these stories came up after the executive council meeting,
Okay.
and at no point was I made to understand that Otoado made demands for additional backroom staff. And we all heard it from Henry when you asked him that question, whether Otoado made demands for additional backroom staff, and he said no. Because the fact is that Otoado did not make demands for additional backroom staff. Following when these things came up, I got in touch with people, and in fact, one of the things I was so much interested in were the bullet points that Otoado gave to them and the conversations that ensued. And in fact, there was nothing new out of what Henry came and sat down here and told us. That's the reason why we've not had a new story about the meeting and what transpired at the meeting. I won't be surprised if Otoado decides that he wants to replace Fatah Daura and John Pencil, because these were not people he hired, though the FA had his blessings to hire them. If he feels they are not good enough to assist him, where some people within the hierarchy of the Ghana Football Association have actually even said that they do not believe the backroom staff of the senior national team is good enough, and they decide that, okay, let's get rid of Fatah Daura and John Pencil, I will not be taken aback. But one thing that I can say with certainty is that one of the leadership of the Ghana Football Association, there was a meeting where the GFA was told about how they do not have a very strong backroom staff. And I was told that one of the leaders actually said they have a very experienced assistant coach in Joseph Lawman. So in fact, they actually said that Joseph Lawman is a perfect replacement for Otoado should it happen that Otoado is not in a position to lead a technical team. So the FA is actually convinced that Joseph Lawman is a very good assistant coach to Otoado. It is John Pencil and Fatah Daura that I cannot, because I've not been given any intel on that.
Okay.
One of the things that transpired in that conversation was the fact that when the conversation about the technical team happened, where they were told about the inconsistent nature of the Black Stars technical team, the FA said they cannot take the blame alone because they've done it with government. Where the claims were that the former sports minister hired C.K. Akuno. When C.K. Akuno was not performing, they decided to fire him. They brought Milovan River. They didn't want to sack Milovan. But government said fire Milovan.
I see.
So they fired Milovan. And in fact, Henry told us here that it took the GFA to pay Milos his severance package. Then came Otto Addo, who said he was not interested in the job, and he left. Government, the GFA said, we did not hire Chris Hutton. Government hired Chris Hutton. So we cannot take responsibility for getting rid of C.K. Akuno and Chris Hutton because they were not our coaches.
I see.
They were the coaches of government. So government we should take a chunk of the blame for the lack of consistency in the technical direction of the national team.
Why don't they beat their chest and put this on paper and release it and publish it for us?
You know they cannot say that. And in fact, Ernest Thompson said it recently when he spoke to Natalia Arthur, where he said that sometimes there's pressure from the top telling you hire this coach, and there's nothing you can do about it. You will have to hire him. So when the pressure came from the top for them to hire, they hired. Now they're saying that we have hired Otto Addo. Otto Addo is our choice. Now the point is, can they get rid of Otto Addo? It was one thing. One of the explanations that was given was the fact that if they get rid of Otto Addo now, there is no window for any new coach to come and have an opportunity with the players before the next international window, which will be in March 2025.
Where they play competitive World Cup qualifiers.
So what it means is that if the person also comes to fail, do they get rid of that person as well? So that is where they are at this point. When it comes to the conversation about whether Otto stays or Otto goes and what becomes of his technical or backroom staff. And in fact, after the games against Sudan, one of the things I was told was about the fact that the leadership of the FA actually want to augment the backroom staff of the Black Stars. If they want to get augment the backroom staff of the Black Stars, I think it will be quite unfair for them to put it on Otto, knowing very well that Otto did not come to, or maybe he's had that conversation and it's here to come to my attention. But after the games against Sudan, it was the FA that decided to augment the backroom staff of the Black Stars and not Otto making demands. So at this point, if the FA is convinced that indeed Fatah Adawara and John Pinsel are not good enough, let's get rid of them and get better people to support Otto Addo.
You will not be surprised.
I will not be surprised.
Fair.
Nti weni sensema Mufta na Abila the way I watch them onutimi say bibia to asum kama or the aba about Black Stars e coaching sensem ebetimi aba se Otto Addo beko na coach foforo aba ebetimi aba se Otto Addo betimi atena ebetimi aba se the technical staff no ebetimi asanko emebia bia asan behiem tini na eyenkoma or summarizing a kama edema yen Inaki Williams Athletic Club as celebrating the 10th anniversary when ya with Omo on the football career mum on the 6th of December to say in the year 2014 in Unyani Derby game Edema Athletic Club no Unyani Derby game and son was signing a professional contract 2015 to signing a professional contract EBC say Ababobo Ababisi eneno Inaki Williams with Timiabo 441 games Edema Athletic Club was share 105 goals Sisi ano Oko Athletic Club omo goal scoring history ma only player otoso 14 washe goals bebre pa Ediama Athletic Club na cheso no so etimi asan ayebi na Athletic Club etimi eposi nkomo kakra we ho waiting nkomo a omodi tudwa almost 10 years since Williams official debut. How many moments by your side and the ones we have ahead together step by step writing with golden letters the history of this athletic and then nkomo omodi betu jano say we love you Inaki Ntifiti 2014 picture Echwegusu was screen so the way na Inaki tie 2015 2016 17 18 19 20 2021 2022 2023 ebesi 2024 utimusampa the young shall grow Inaki Williams the way not here pa wasan nye du by this time no tim so bi a abrabom no obenya asan akọ nanim nti eno ne nkomo kakra efi Inaki Williams oba ono so edit video akoto ne Instagram page obetimi follow Inaki Williams Williams 45 no akọ videos no due to copyright issues ntina manfa videos awodo about Inaki Williams fitida onya ne debut edema the club ebesi enembre amfan bro ewo channel kese we so na medibewie ewo the Black Maidens of Ghana nyame atoma on the 12th to 22nd omugina okono first no na 12th to 26 na ensisaye ene sacheye a abamuni Burkina Faso no mo Ghana group na Ghana Benin ene Burkina Faso Burkina for mpemfo da betu dwa se nya de asa tournament we on betimi asamba se sia wafu zombie under 17 women's cup of nations qualifies no o matwom ho e de afim ti sia Ghana group no aka 2 countries ye ne Benin ansa na group B so 3 countries e wo hodeda enti se koba ni se dia na yesem penifo etse na ne so be 4 days e be kan na sia be boni 52th ekoti 22nd e wo Ghana Man Soccer Center of Excellence enti no ene komo kakra e boba enti anu ahye no sonson e de amame na ne nyina mu no ene the Black Maidens womutimi bo ayonkofa kensi omone Epiphany Warriors emano e de wentam so at the end of 90 minutes of soccer fiesta the Black Maidens of Ghana 0 Epiphany Warriors almost went to me asante kanibi on the 8th on be sign any game back e de wentam so ne nyina mu no egusua e hwe se bibi papa ebetimi afi Ghana ye camp aba ye beje trophy no ya qualify for AFCON ni asan kwaje trophy no ni qualify for under 17 women's world cup ni bi na bibia timi asan ko yedi ama esanse atena fie ache ye pante no any latest if the world of sports mu eboba wadwen kire election 2024 eba so unso betimi asan kaden ene de afa ho fatum e comment box no mu asundue eni hia e wo Ghana ha obia ne de opeso kotoba no wankasa wo hwe se na obetimi aye na waye ne kama ama bibia timi asan akoye Kwame Essien Dominic Edizani Tamdos no menko comment box ni mu na mema wo shoutouts Edward Papasen comment aba Gaba Jaffa also comment mehumpa Rufai Abdullahi close to McQueen original Nat 1 Olembe Wahab Dachehene Vosia Silvanus McQueen Rufai Abdullahi Sanso ena edinwe ma mention dan check na mboni yemfema okay the sense okay you did heavy papa Rufai Abdullahi and more amaka ho e comment box no nyina no me de mo si ha makramo until we meet again it's bye for now.